So that'll be interesting. Back to the draft. Obviously, we go again in the second round. This time, the Bears do give Dennis Allen a bit of help on that defense, and they go with Shemar Turner from Texas A&M, who's a defensive tackle, with a bit of aggressiveness in there. I think it's fair to say this player brings with him. I mean, what did you make of this pick?
I didn't love it. And now a few days later, I still don't necessarily love it. I like the versatility that he brings. So I really want to see where he's going to line up. I mean, he could line up at edge. He could line up at defensive tackle. He was playing last year on a stress fracture, so his production dipped. He wasn't as effective. So on one hand, you're thinking, okay, well, get that fixed up. Maybe he's a much better player. He was projected, I think, going into last season as a first rounder, obviously fell with the position change and the injury. But then on the other hand, you're thinking, well, we've seen stress fractures in Chicago with the Bears not turn out well. Just look at Kevin White. So the fact that this is already kind of happening in college, I get a little concerned that maybe this could be a recurring issue with his legs. So we'll see. As far as his play on the field, I love that he's a finisher. I love that he doesn't necessarily, he plays whistle to whistle. He doesn't quit. He cleans up the play. I don't love that he really doesn't dominate from the first step for the first snap. That just didn't really show up for me when I was watching him. So we'll kind of see how that goes against, NFL personnel. I've seen it before with other defensive tackles, defensive linemen. Like, yes, they have the tenacity to kind of clean up plays if other people could do the dirty work. The Bears do have some players that could do that dirty work. So perhaps he definitely has a role on this team. But I don't really love it with some of the guys that they still could have gotten, whether at edge or whether at defensive tackle, because I do think they should have focused on that. I just wonder if they got the right player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you as well. I'm not down on the move, but I need to see where it goes. And again, an injury for me too just worries me. We've seen too many injuries with the Bears of players being brought in. I know Karan Amagaji last year wasn't like a top player brought in. He was kind of developmental brought in, but still he comes in with an injury. You mentioned Kevin White got injured, and then it goes back to Chris Williams coming in and the offensive line with an injury. And I do have pause when it comes to that. He had a metal rod inserted into his shin, which is, it'll be interesting to see. But look, again, he looks like he's a player who's got a bit of a personality about him, and as you say, he has a motor that keeps going. I just hope there isn't going to be an issue with penalties. But again, I'm hoping this coaching staff will be able to work on that. I mean, Dennis Allen's such an experienced coach that you feel he's going to be able to work with this young man and maybe temper that down a bit if there are any issues. But look, again, it's one of those kind of wait and sees, and we'll see how he develops.